Video of what we did today on Friday, June 13th. We started in photos and we talked about the top bar here. We also talked about the little green, red, yellow buttons. We learned that if we point to the green button, we can have it go to one side of the screen, and we can go back here and click once. It went full screen. I can then exit full screen. If I click the yellow button, you know that makes it small, and of course, red closes the window. We might remember we double tap on this little white section of the header here, the top of the window. We double tap, it makes it bigger. And again, that's what we did. We move it around. And again, if we double tap, it goes full screen, but you still see the red, yellow, and green. If I tap the green button, I can go full screen. And then when I do that, you don't see the little red, yellow buttons unless you go to the tippy top, and then they appear. Now you see them, now you don't. Minor cosmetic change to a window. Again, come over to the top. Since you're full screen, you have to exit full screen. All right, we got that out of the way. We have the two libraries. I couldn't quite understand the difference between personal is what I see here, and then when I clicked on shared, I would only see those that I'm sharing, and there were a few. These were shared at Christmas time with my family and myself, and I made a shared album. And going down to the very bottom, I have a shared album here, and I don't see it there, and I don't quite understand why I don't see it here. But regardless, we kind of ignored that, and we'll do that again. So let's go look at both libraries. Across the top, you might remember we have this scanner, but there's no, as a slider rather, we see no photo, so I have to go back to my library where I have my 30,000 photos, and now you can see the different size of those thumbnails. You got that. And this little button to the left of that increases or decreases the amount of white space between the images. And we'll just make it down to the bottom. There's no fast way to get to the bottom of the 30,000 photos, or maybe your 300, it doesn't matter. It's going to take a moment of time. Across the top again, you can see years, you can see months. We want to see all photos. We'll talk about these in just a minute. Once we clicked on a photo or double clicked, we go into a single view of that one photo. This is from the C, that's 21C Hotel, not Century 21, Kim. It's 21C Hotel. It's up in Durham, right across from the Bull. They have an art gallery up there, and it rotates, and these are some photos from that. If I hit my keyboard right arrow, I can go see the next photo. There we are. Hitting the left arrow on the keyboard, and there we are. And that was it. Now, why'd I come here? Well, you can see this was done in portrait mode, and it's at an angle, and I'm going to correct that angle. I go to edit mode, and here you can see I can adjust various things. One of the neat things you saw was the adjustment of the perspective, and that's found under crop. And when I do that, I can straighten it out. You know, it's kind of straight already. And if you screw that up, so to speak, I think if you just double tap, it corrects it. So if we change the perspective or the straightening, you just double tap on that blue area and it fixes that. You didn't see that in class. Vertical, let's change the vertical. Oh, going the wrong way. There you go. That's a little better. And I can maybe change the cropping of that rather than horizontal. No, that was pretty good. Again, I'll just double tap on that little blue area right here. There we go. Now, of course, I have this white space. I'll just move that from the bottom. Notice the red pointer. And there we go. And that. And I'll pull it down from here. Now what's wrong with this? Well, we got that done, but we have these annoying white lights. This is a reflection from the art show yesterday. I go to cleanup. Now it's trying to find it automatically on its own, but it didn't. So I have the shape of the mouse now. Instead of a red pointer or a set of crosshairs, it's like a bullseye or a scope. So I come over here and I draw a little white line. And I might have to do it a couple times, but it's going to erase those distractions. Here you go. And it might not work perfectly. And you can see some are being very stubborn. So we'll forget about that one and try that one again. That works. Well, it's good enough. How about on his face? There you go. And maybe the one here. Maybe, maybe not. Not so good, but you got the idea. I bet it's a little white button. It's not really a distraction, but we'll draw a little. There you go. I'll undo that. That's Apple Command Z. Remember, Command Z is an undo, and there's buttons back. So we'll say we're good, and we'll say we're done. Leave it at that. Oh, by the way, if you don't like that, what you do, you can just go back to the original. Here's the before. Here's the after. We didn't see that in class, before and after. And if I really don't like it, I can just change my mind. So let me say I'm done. And I go back to all the pictures, and he's done. What I should have done, and thank you very much, Barb, I could have made a copy. Remember, we did a duplicate. So let's take it here. Let's take it right here. Picture from the gallery. I'll go back. I'll do a right click, and I'll duplicate this photo. There it is. Double tap, edit mode. I can see this automatic correction, see what this does automatically. Not much, a little bit. Command Z, undo, and we'll do it again. There you go. So it makes it a little bit more on the browner side. Edit. What can I do here? Adjust. I have various built-in features, little sliders. I'm in the adjust mode. I can change the way those look, make it completely black and white. Again, I mentioned in class it was good for architecture, not so much people, but it depends. It depends on the mood you're trying to set. You can increase the set or double tap. Everything goes back to the default. There you go. Vibrance. These are all personal decisions you make regarding the effect you're looking for on the photograph. All right. Filters, same idea, but done for you automatically without any sliding of the little adjustment bars you saw a moment ago. Pretty clever on this one here. Cropping, we saw this with the perspective. We saw that in the photograph of the portrait of the gentleman. This isn't so bad. Again, if you screw up, just double tap the little area there, and we're back to that. I don't think this needs any cropping. However, if we go to cleanup, maybe now we can get rid of this stick he's holding there. Nailed it right there. Perfect. And maybe we'll get this one as well. We'll just have his hand out. It can't get any better than that. Of course, we did some damage to him, but look past that. All right, we'll put his hand back. There you go. That's a much shorter stick. Actually, a nicer picture. We'll say we're done. We'll go back to the screen. Remember the word non-destructive? Well, this is the one we just changed, right? Double tap. Go to edit. Revert to original. No harm, no foul. Can I undo that? Command Z. Yep. There you go. Done. And we'll tap done. That's what we did with editing. What else did we do? Well, you know what? I wrote some things down. One of the last things I showed you, but we didn't go into detail at all, was reminders down here. You all have it. And I have a column view of workshop topics, various things here, but I'm keeping not reminders, but lists. Think of the application reminders, top left-hand corner, as just reminders and lists. Why do they have as a reminder? Because you can put a time and date on here. And I did that in class. I demonstrated that. Here it is, reminder, workshop reminders, workshop video. Delete photo from gallery, keeps it in the library. We talked about that. So clean using cleanup using Apple Photos. That's what we did. Remember the gentleman's poll? We removed that. We worked with editing photos right now, just what we did. We also did perspective. We did that. Get rid of that. We showed editing photos. We did that. Notice the blue circle. We did the cleanup with the little stick in the gentleman's hand. And I'm just telling you right now, if you delete something from the gallery, it's still in the library. And we did that. The last thing we did was this grid, this shortcut. Now, shortcut is an app. Remember, Command Spacebar opens up Spotlight, and I'll type in shortcut. As soon as I start typing, it shows it to me. And we pressed enter. And then what we did is we went to the gallery, and I had you type in photo. And when you do, we found a bunch of shortcuts that are really programs that are given to you automatically by Apple. And we did this one. And when we did that, we added the shortcut to all shortcuts. Those are yours. So we added it. It's already there. and we'll just say replace. Some of us did that already. And now it's one of my shortcuts that I have right here. How do I run a shortcut? You point it to this little forward button. I called it a triangle. And when we click on it, it runs. And then we picked out some photographs. So we'll take the portrait here of that gentleman, and we'll take this one here, holding down the Command key, allows you to select random photos. This was some of the graffiti that I showed you. And take that one. That's from the gallery. We'll get rid of this one. Holding down Command, I deselect that one. So I have 3 photos selected from the art show, and we'll take one more. This was behind, I like this one here, the colors. I could take 5 of them. I could take 6 of them. Let's see, 7. And how about me taking a picture? So I have 8 photos. Let's see how Apple Photos handles this automatically in a grid. It's building the grid right now. And there's the grid. Oh, I should have made it 9. That's too bad. So the question was, how do you save it? Well, that was the last thing I think of the day. We point to the little square here. That's the share button. You find it in all applications, all applications. And I'm going to share this to photos. You can see at the bottom, this bounced. And if I go back, there is the grid I just made. That's a quick recap of what we did. We laughed. We heard a lot of good questions. You helped each other, and I really appreciate that. Barb is going to be taken out to lunch by Vicky. We appreciate that, Vicky. I know Barb will enjoy that as well. And Ella, thank you for confirming everything I was saying by saying yes, yes. I enjoyed your auditing and fact checking on my statements. I appreciate that. It's always a pleasure to have all you in class. Enjoy the video, and I'll post it and then send you a link to it. Bye for now.